What's up, my guys and gals? It's your boy Tyromaniac back from the Smoking Hot video, and today I'm going to be playing a lesser known game known as Hearts-Fire 4. Now, this is basically a real-time strategy World War II simulator, and so it's very slow start. It's very slow game in general, so that's why I'm going to try to make this as fast as I can. So as you can see, it gives you two start dates. You have 1936, which is what most players go for because it gives the most time to build up. But seeing as I've made really long videos, I'm going to go 1939, which, as you know, is when the war started in real life. So this is basically, I'm just going to be trying to make this as fast as I can for you guys. I'm not going to do an entire campaign in this video because those can take hours, and well, I have plenty of those logged into this game on Steam already. Just picture that.
Wow!
Wonderful. Now, the good thing about this game is that nearly every country is, well, not nearly, every country is playable. So, as you can see, there are 7 what are called majors. So those are France, the US, the UK, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the Soviet Union. And I have a DLC that makes Poland a major, but that's not important. So, to get the most action for you guys, I'm going to be playing as Germany. So as you can see, this is the state of the world right before Hitler went to war with Poland. So, as you can see, the Soviets are mostly the same. Japan is just starting to invade China. Well, not just starting, but they have been. Italy has swallowed Ethiopia and Albania. Germany has swallowed Austria, Czech, and puppeted Slovakia, and split the division with Hungary. And so yeah, and now we're about to go to war with Poland, which will draw France and Britain to the war. And so as you can see, I have historical AI focuses off. So what that basically means is this is going to work a little differently than it did in our timeline. So if I put this on, then the decisions these countries make would be more or less the same as they are in our timeline. But I'm going to turn that off because it makes for more interesting gameplay. So anyways, I'm just going to get right into it. Oh, and by the way, you guys thought the Minecraft video had bad frame rate? Ha! I get bad frame rates in this game, even when I'm not trying to record it. Prepare. Although I did fiddle with the settings on my recorder, so I'm going to see if that'll help a bit. If not, then, well, I know what to blame, but yeah. Probably the fact that this is a game that has been updated every year on a laptop that was released in 2015. No, that can't be it. Well, as you can see, it's already struggling to load, but it usually does that. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this is basically a state of the world, and as you can see, I have some. I'm going to briefly walk you through what all these mean. So, there's research here, which basically just means you can research new technology. And so it's generally a good idea to go for industrial technology and electronics. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Okay, so... No processing. There are just some things in this game that are good ideas. Is the general gist. And then there's also construction. You can build factories. So, at most points in the game, you're only ever going to need these 3, which are civilian, military, and dockyard. Dockyards build ships, military factories build military equipments, and civilian factories build, well, other factories. Basically, everything in this tab is built by civilian factories. Even the civilian factories. So yeah, actually, I'm going to build... I think I've got enough civilian factories, so I'm just going to build military factories. I'm going to work on that. Yeah. And just like Minecraft, with this game, I am a very formulaic player. I have a very specific way of envisioning things. So yeah, get ready for that. Okay, that looks good. Now, this is your production tab where you build all your equipment. So as you can see, we are building infantry equipment, artillery, basically anything you really need. We're building right now. So, I want to keep it that way, But I would also like to shift things around a little bit. So this is your equipment tab. This kind of tells you what everything looks like. There's a bunch of tabs I'm flipping through right now. I don't want to be too confusing to you guys, so I'm going to try to explain it as I go along. Yeah, this is how you check your equipment status. How you check. Green means surplus, red means deficit, and this is production. So this is how much you're building. It's not exact. I think it has some sort of multiplier that shows the number. But either way, it should be close enough. So yeah, but anyways, I'm just going to shift around my factories a little bit. Oh man, I have a bunch of those. So yeah. More tanks. Actually, do we have... Oh, we do. Okay, so I'm actually going to want some of those too. Okay, and as you can see, I have deficits of resources, so I can fix that by going to the Resource tab, and I can click what I want to import and where from. So you can see I need rubber, so I get that. I need tungsten, so I get that. I need chromium, so I get that. Now this takes away from your civilian factories, so for each unit of 8 you buy, that takes 1 civilian factory away from your production. So, but anyways, I'm also going to, so this is your stuff. These are, you can get your advisors and your research companies and all that. So what do we have already? We have, okay, so we have extra political power, which is what you use to buy these guys, and also to make decisions, but mostly to buy these guys. So we have more political power. I might change him. Okay, so who else can I add? I think I'll get fascist demagogue, so more support for fascism, which is the ideology. And it doesn't affect that much into the regular gameplay, but it does give you a few more bonuses, having your ideology being more popular. It's not super important, but it's good. Okay, oh, and military construction speed. So yep, there's that. And there's also... So, this one will give my ships better armor and attack. Let's see. Same thing here, though. I'm not sure if I want to go bombers, close air supporter, fighters. Yeah, I'll go bombers. Why not? It's Germany. Then infantry equipment. Refining concern. I want to change that. Industrial concern. There we go. And then, So I think, looking at all of these. Okay, experience, you mostly spend this to do stuff. You can research doctrine, which just makes your unit attack better. But you can also change unit templates, which I'll get into a little bit later. But I think better research towards nuclear technology is good. And the national focuses. This is what it was talking about with the historical AI earlier. So, the AI, when it's set to historical, so you have all these things. Each one takes 70 days to complete, and it gives you a certain effect. Like Rhineland. As you know, that Rhineland was demilitarized after World War I. Well, that and so it's about here. Well, that focus allows you to enter troops again, because at the start of the game, you cannot. So, and stuff like Anschluss. That also happened in real life, and it's why Germany has Austria. They didn't invade it, they made it's an event, and so they got it peacefully. And so, it's a bunch of stuff like that. And there's some alternate history stuff, like here, alliance with the USSR. But it's more or less, oh, and befriend Poland and stuff like that. So historical AI means it'll go down the paths that most resemble what it did in real life, which is what I want, which is pretty much what I want to be doing. So looking at all of this, I think, I'm not sure which one to go with. I guess this one makes sense. More dockyards? Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, that takes 35 days. Okay, so I guess not all of them take 70 days, but they usually do. A lot of the bigger ones do anyways. Yeah. So by turning historical AI off, what I did is I allowed the AI to go, which is the rest of the countries, I allowed them to go down different parts of their focus tree. Now the thing is, only the 7 major countries have unique focus trees like this. Like if we look at the UK, they have a focus tree different from ours. But if you look at and that's what the DLC that I was talking about earlier gave to Poland. But if you look at a smaller country like Romania, they have this focus tree, and then you look at, well, that was Hungary, sorry. This is Romania, and you look at them, and they have the same focus tree. So anyways, I'm getting too much. Okay, so this is what's going to allow us to get Poland. This war goal. You need war goals to declare wars in this game. And you can get them either through focuses or by creating them yourself, which costs political power and a lot of time. But as you can see, I already have it because it's the 1939 start date. But I can also invite people to my faction, which is basically what it was in real life. There's the 10 major factions. There's the Axis, the Allies, and the Common Term, the Chinese United Front, and the Greater East Asian Growth Prosperity Sphere. So the color is based on the country that leads it. So UK, Germany, the USSR, China, and Japan. But yeah, so I think I will invite Bulgaria to my faction. No, not that. Invite to faction. So invite to faction just means you can ask them to join your wars with you, which is useful for some of the bigger countries like Italy. But anyways, so I am going to select all my units. And so you can divide your units into armies. So this is generally a good idea if... This is generally a good idea. So anyways, I'm going to take... I'm very formulaic with my armies too. I like having a certain number of things. So many I've selected. So you can have at most 24 units in an army. And so that's what I'm doing. So, and you use the armies. The armies just make it easier to organize your units, so you're not trying to move each individual one. Then when you create an army, you can create plans for them and let the AI take over the job of managing it. Which, for some things, is better than others. It's better to do that with infantry than it is with tanks. And there are different unit types, like real world war. So there's infantry, there's tanks, there's motorized, there's a bunch of stuff. I thought about doing a motorized only challenge, which there are a bunch of challenges like that, where you make all your divisions one thing. But I eventually decided against it. So I'm actually going to finish organizing these and then cut back in a little bit later. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, so as you can now see, I have all my armies laid out exactly as they need to be. And so what I'm going to show you now, there's another thing that you can do with armies called commanders. And so these are historical people like Erwin Rommel. You gotta recognize Manstein, Guderian. Probably didn't pronounce that right. But yeah. And so they give different buffs based on these right here. It's like we can look at Rommel. He's a trickster, which gives us more reconnaissance. And he's also better at leading tanks. So I'm actually going to give that to, the army that has tanks in it. So, and here, so tanks are generally better for trying to break through enemy lines and push behind hit. So as you can see, any army with tanks, I'm going to give as the tank. Ooh, this guy's pretty good. Okay. So, and also this number on the side here indicates general skill level, and these over here are the general bonuses that they give. These are all kind of special bonuses that don't mean too much in the grand scheme of things. But yes, so I'm generally just gonna, at this point, I don't really have any more bonuses to give out, so I'm just gonna kind of, what is the plan? That's good. Yeah, I'm just more or less assigning people. So yeah, and then actually, there's actually one more thing I want to do, because somewhere in here there is, here, I found it. Okay. So there's what's called special. I'd say you've heard of special divisions, and they're basically, think of like they're Marines, Mountaineers, and paratroopers, and that's what this guy is. It's a paratrooper, which means if you have the right type of plane, you can drop him out of it behind enemy lines. Now I'm not going to use him that much because there's one of him, but yeah. And so this is how you build more units. You can also manage how your equipment is organized. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier with the templates. You can see they give you a bunch of templates here, but I can edit them. I can go here and see. So I like to create my own templates and then switch my divisions over to them later. So, what should I call it? I'm just going to call it something. I usually just name them for my benefit, so there. It doesn't really get you much, it's just something you do. And so what I like to do is I like to have, in my armies, I like to have 18 infantry and 6 tanks per army. And then divisions, you can organize battalions, which is basically this. So you can see that one of the tank divisions here, it has 4 light tank battalions and 3 motorized infantry battalions. And you can see all their stats over here. I don't generally look at those, except equipment, because that tells you generally how much you're going to need to make one. So yeah. So, and then, okay, so there's also a Navy and an Air Force. So as you can see my Navy here, there are a bunch of different classes of ship. There are destroyers, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, and battleships, which are what I have. And I also just have way too many submarines. I have way too many submarines. Well, actually, no, it's not nearly enough, but it looks like a lot. So, and the same thing with the naval commanders. They have the same general bonuses as regular commanders would. So I'm probably going to... yeah. Alright, and then this dude, because he's good with submarines, I'm gonna give him, so, you know, all the submarines. And then... what's this? Oh. Yeah, I don't care about that. Actually, I might as well leave it up there. But I don't care about it, so yeah. Well, there's also outdated equipment, which just means I have newer equipment. But it's a ship, and so, because if you look here, I can change it to the newer one. But as you can see, I'm losing 1,000 days of production, because this has been in production for 1,000 days already. And since it's so close to being shipped out, I might as well just let it stay. And then also with ships, you can assign... what they're doing right now is they're just going to go to their own task force that you have to manually assign, or you could do something like this and assign it yourself. So, boom. So I'm actually going to do that real quick, again, off screen, and just kind of go through. Alright, so now that that's done, Air Force. So as you can see, I got a bunch of planes mixed and matched on the place. So I'm actually going to take another break to distribute these a bit more evenly, because I'm just a freak like that. Okay, so now that I'm done, yeah. So pretty much, I've kept everything I use, and anything I don't use pretty much got sent away to Brazil. And it is, yeah, so, oh. So I guess I have to rework this. Okay, I guess I don't need that. Okay, so now everything should be good. Turns out I can do this again. So I'm going to... okay. So everything should be organized. What is happening? How is everything organized? Other than this, obviously, but... there. Okay, and everything looks good. Now, I want to explain... well, what I want to explain is the thing behind... what is it? Army groups. So, you can put armies together, I think up to 5, to create a united army group. And so this is what I was talking about earlier with making plans. So I can draw a front line here, and all the units from these groups are going to go there, and you can assign a commander here. So, I like this one. Oh, that's a better one. Okay. So yeah, and then we also take, so And so I'm just making plans right now. I'm not really doing much otherwise. Okay. So and then you can also draw offensive lines. So that's basically just I'm telling all my divisions that I want them to go here. So this is where the AI is going to get them to. Hopefully. And then if I look, this is the projected path they'll take. So, pretty nice, as you can see. And then I'm just going to do that with a few more. So I'm just going to move them in here, and I'm going to create a few more of these. So you from there to oh, that works, I guess. And there. Looks pretty good, right? Well, I better hope so. And then all of these, well, not all of them, I guess, but I'm going to put in an army group to hold off the French. Right there. And their plan is just to... So it's a pretty bad idea to attack the French like this, mostly because they're going to come around and beat you. Yeah, so that's my plan. And so I'm going to give it a few... I'm going to let it run for a little bit so that they can all get in place. I can do the same thing here. So... I think the most important thing right now that I need is for, say, you can assign your ship's unit quarters. So you can say, patrol the waters, attack ships, raid convoys, or protect convoys. So I think what I need is I need to protect convoys. So that's what I'm going to have all these bigger ships doing. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to set repair priority to medium and allow them to split off automatically. There. So the submarines are going to raid, and the bigger ships are going to protect. There's that, and then like I said, I'm just going to let this run for a little bit. And as you can see, because that thing I showed earlier, if you'll notice, here, it gives you the percent of your army that's equipped. So because that was low, and it started taking it out of the surplus I had, and so now, no more surplus. So yeah, it is a very complicated game, but once you play it for a while, you get the hang of it. And as you saw earlier, with the few hundred hours I have played a lot of it. Yeah. And I'm also going to get my planes up here. I think that'd be a good idea. So you can assign your planes missions, like air superiority, basically control the skies. Close air support, provide support to your units. Interception, basically stop other planes from taking off. Or strategic bombing, to take away from the enemy's ability, or to bomb the enemy. So I'm just going to organize these guys a little bit. Get ready. So I'm actually going to cut away one last time, and I'll come back when the war has started. Okay, so everything's getting into place. I have everything set up, and I could probably go for a little bit longer. So I'm going to start the war and show you the mechanics of it, and then I'm probably not going to actually play, or I'm not going to actually knock out Poland until the next episode. Just that it doesn't take too long. But I will start it this episode, don't worry. So, as you can see, everything is set up. I got all my planes going everywhere, doing all the very good stuff. I have all my ships everywhere. Oh. You do a devil. Okay. I'll wait on that. But yeah, so... everything looks good, more or less. So I think I'm ready to get into it. So, time to declare war on Poland, and as you can see, okay, so because Poland is being guaranteed by the UK and France, which basically just means that when they go to war, well, when someone declares war on Poland, not if Poland declares war, but someone declares war on Poland, then they are basically required to get involved. So, and that is what happened in our timeline. So, like I said, I'm just gonna declare war. And so you can see that popped up. So this is just a quick window to see how the war is going. Show you who's participated the most in the war. You can see casualties, how many divisions each side has, and how many factories each side has. So it's very convenient like that. So anyways, I'm going to get started with this. I'm going to order my tanks to drive there, and where's here? Up here, so Danzig. And then I'm going to order these two to start as well, so we'll just see how it goes. So the green means that we're winning, and the red means that we're losing. So as you can see, we're mostly winning right now. Oh, and we're gonna need some more fuel, so... oh, jeez. Okay, so there's a new naval combat in the English Channel, and we are... well... oh, we might be winning. Oh, Italy wants to join the war. I don't know, that lets them take stuff from France. I'm not sure. The AI generally doesn't advance unless they have a huge advantage, so I guess I can let them join. Yeah, so now we can see that I have air supremacy, air superiority everywhere. So air superiority is pretty important to combat. It gives you a nice bonus. So yeah, so as you can see, oh, there's a lot going on. Okay, so because the Allies are a huge faction, because they have so many colonies like South Africa, Canada, India, Australia, New Zealand, you're going to get a lot of war declarations in this. So, oh, jeez, what? Oh, boy. Okay, so I'm going to need a lot of this, a lot of fuel. Yeah, as you can see, things are going pretty well. Yeah, things are going pretty well, as you can see. I'm actually going to order these guys to attack. So yeah. Oh, and Bulgaria's in the war. Okay, so in general, Poland shouldn't be a hard threat. It might take a little bit, but there's no chance of us really losing to them. And for some reason, these guys are refusing to advance. So I do kind of have to micromanage a little bit. Yes, you can just see the sheer number of war declarations. Oh, I've won a combat with the British. So yeah. And you can see the casualties, like I said. So you can see that I've lost 900 lives, which is bad. But then you look on the other hand at Poland, and they have 13,000. Oh, and the USSR declared war on Finland. Oh. I lost 16 submarines. I want to reiterate that. 16 submarines. Okay, well you are no longer doing that, you're doing this now. So I am not losing 16 submarines again. Oh, but I took out 9 other destroyers. Oh, as you can see in various places. So generally the thicker line is where our border was, like right here you can see it. Yeah, so in general you're seeing that we are starting to advance. And so what we're going to want to do actually, there could be a pretty good opportunity for encirclement up here. Now that I'm looking at it. See that? Oh yeah, we're doing this. We're pretty good actually. Go. Okay, so Slovakia wants to give us equipment, and I guess I can't really deny that because equipment doesn't hurt. Okay, so we're losing. Okay, I think we're just losing all our submarines. Not all of them, but a lot. Submarines they don't last very long. Here's the general idea. Actually, I think a pretty good thing to do would be to encircle, because then you're cutting off their supply lines, but then also you are stopping them from gaining any. So what I want to do is I want to encircle a city, basically. Because then there's 2 divisions there that I can kill off. Encirclement is generally always a good idea. That's all. You want to go for that as much as you can. Little. We still have air superiority, except in Western Poland. It's questionable in Western Poland, to be good. And I lost another 4 submarines. I will lose a lot of submarines in this series. I'm just going to say that right now. Oh. So, as you can see, there is just a lot of stuff going on. But it looks like we are making some pretty major advances. So yeah, so what I want right now is I want to close off this section. This is a perfect opportunity to encircle. Because look at all the divisions that are here. So it looks like I will. So then I'm just going to tell these guys in advance that once you're done with that, you're going to go around here. So there. And then, yeah. Oh. And we encircled it. We encircled the city. Just gonna order. Okay. So yeah, we've got some pretty good encirclements going. As you can see, we've taken 11,000 casualties, but Poland has taken 49,000. Oh, and you might notice what this is. So this is victory points. So victory points are basically cities. So like you can see you hover over the capital, and you'll see you should see, sorry. Okay, you can see down there victory point 25. So that's how many victory points you get for taking a city. And this many, and so a country has so many victory points, and a city represents a certain percent of that. Oh, that's not. And so generally, yeah, and so a country will capitulate if you have more than 20 of their victory points. So you can't. So the capital usually helps with that, but you can't just take the capital and call it done. So there's a certain give or take to it. So yeah, as you can see, I am trying to encircle as many divisions as possible. Yeah, so the war is going pretty alright. France hasn't really attacked Italy or something. But does Italy, you think historically, does Italy know how to do anything other than lose? Yeah, so I think I'm going to call this one here. So yeah, that was the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to light up that like button, smoke that subscribe button, just drop a big old comment. And so yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. First place. Nice.